Good morning, everyone. My name is Councillor Gary Crawford. I'm Chair of the Budget Committee. Clerk has confirmed that we do have quorum, so I'd like to call meeting 46 of the Budget Committee to quorum and welcome everyone. Today's meeting is being held with members of Council and City staff participating both by video and conference and in person at City Hall in the Council chamber. Well, no clerks are there for sure. I don't know if any members are there. The clerk staff have connected any remote participants to the meeting by video conference. The list of speakers can be viewed online by visiting the anyway, okay, there are no speakers, I know that. I ask for everyone's patience if we experience any delays or technical problems during the meeting. Members, the City Clerk has provided all agenda materials on toronto.ca/council and on CMP, our clerk's meeting portal. If you have any IT issues, you can contact them. And as part of each agenda item, I ask members to raise their hand or unmute their mic if they wish to question staff or speak. Members, you have to submit your motions by email. Not too sure if there will be any today, but that is a regular practice we have to follow. Although we are in different locations and meeting remotely today, the committee would like to acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and it's now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. First order of business, declarations of interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. Are there any? Seeing none. Members, as this is our first regular meeting since the budget process, we need to confirm the minutes from all the previous special meetings of the Budget Committee from our last regular meeting, which was held back in November. So can I have a motion to confirm the minutes of the Budget Committee meetings held on?
Moved.
Oh, I have to read the meeting. Okay, I got to take a deep breath here. We got November 19th, 2021, January 13th, 18th, 24th, 25th, 28th, and February 7th, 2022. I think I saw Councillor Lai moving that.
Yes.
Excellent. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Members, we have two items on our agenda. We'll run through them to see if there's any questions on these. First item is BU 46.1, Toronto Water 2021 year-end capital budget and 2022 to 31 capital plan adjustments. Does anybody want to hold this item? Seeing none, then can we have...
I'll move the staff recommendations.
Thank you. Councillor Layton has moved the staff recommendations. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Next and last item is BU 46.2, adjustments to capital budget, carry forward funding, and future year commitments. Would anybody like to hold this or ask questions on this item?
I do have some questions, and I apologize because I know looking at the agenda, folks probably thought we'd be out in 10 minutes, but I just have some quick questions.
No worries. Well, Councillor, why don't you're up for questions, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Okay.
Over to you, Councillor Carroll, for questions.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I just wanted to ask the CFO, this is a big carry forward adjustment. You know, this takes us over $1.5 billion carry forward. I'm just concerned. You know, we got a good report. The explanation that, you know, in a lot of cases, what we're dealing with here are either supply chain issues or, you know, Omicron related work stoppages towards the end of the year. But I'm wondering if the next step is for staff to really look at those impacts before doing next year's budget. The concern I have, maybe you could speak to this, is the biggies, transportation and parks and rec. We're trying to get them to have a better ability to spend, et cetera, and we are adjusting down or right-sizing capital budgets. I'm concerned that they'll end up paying a price and shrinking their program with these impacts when, in fact, getting back to normal, they could be able to spend the budget that we adopted them better than they have in the past. Is there some analysis going on to make sure we don't right-size them too much?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Councillor, it's all of the above and more, actually. As you can appreciate, we're dealing with unprecedented inflationary increases. We are dealing with the uncertainties of the COVID variants and how they are going to impact supply chains. So there is analysis, very detailed analysis going on. But at this point in time, the uncertainties are what are creating different scenarios that we may have to consider, we may have to tackle. I'm going to just, signal the fact that we have uncertainties around where other orders of government are supporting us and the potential impact on the capital plan. So there are various elements that are impacting the analysis that is currently underway. So it's not one or the other. It's actually a series of facts that are the program areas are looking at and understanding not only how is it impacting this year in the sense of 2022, the budget year we're currently in, but that experience is going to inform how we build the 10-year capital plan in the 2023 budget year.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about. So when we get to 2023, they'll have a chance to make their case. We had this impact, but we've done our own analysis. We could really execute if we get these funds. They'll have the opportunity to make that presentation.
They absolutely will, and I can't underscore enough the inflationary impacts that we are experiencing on capital plans. So it may appear that capital projects aren't getting done, but yet we're spending money, and that's because of the inflationary impacts on costs of projects. So, unfortunately, we are in very unprecedented times that makes these projections quite a challenge. So, there will be opportunities to talk about the 10-year capital plan and understanding the experience that we've had 2021 and 2022 when it informs the 2023 budget.
Fantastic. And speaking of inflation, my one other question is this: given this big carry forward during this time when we were absorbing all these impacts and still are, I'm hearing you tell me now, is there a good line of communication such that in terms of our debenturing, we're not reaching out and incurring debt that won't be spent? Are they giving you good information so we don't get out ahead and incur debt that we can wait? Because money's getting more expensive, isn't it?
It is. And maybe what I'm about to tell you will put your mind at ease. The way we do our capital financing is we actually finance our completed projects rather than our anticipated projects.
Even on the big ticket items. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that is a lot more discipline. Thank you. Those are my questions, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Lai, you had a question or two?
Yeah, I think my answer was almost, my question was almost answered, but I just wanted to kind of write on that a little bit. Now we understand why it's been delayed or overspent or underspent, whatever. What department does the city have, which department has the most underspent on out of the other city departments? 77%, is that correct? Yeah, 70% of them are citywide that are underspent.
Through you, Mr. Chair, Councillor, that's the average, that's correct.
And you don't have specific one that is most underspent, or do you have that?
Actually, Steve Conforti, who is very knowledgeable about the details of programs, capital capital spend, I should apologize. He's on the line as well.
He can probably follow up with an email to me then.
Okay, we can do that. We're happy to do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question.
Are there any other questions from members? I just have a quick one. You mentioned the uncertainty from other levels of government that we are still facing. Does that impact any of the capital aspects of water that is before us today, or is that something, depending on what happens, we're okay with? I'm just curious on water's, the impacts to capital on the uncertainty with the other governments.
Thank you for the question. It actually does not impact water. Water is specifically funded from the rates. So they are in actual fact isolated from the COVID impacts that we're experiencing on the tax supported programs.
Perfect, that's what I thought. I just wanted to bring that up. Okay. Seeing no other questions, any speakers to the item? Councillor Carroll, would you be kind enough to move the item?
Happy to, thank you.
Excellent. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Thank you, members. That's our business for today. Enjoy the rest of your long weekend coming up.
Well, I'm exhausted, Mr. Chair, but thank you for adjourning.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.